Welcome back to the Rich Pod, which is available on all major podcast platforms. Please like, subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on every platform at the Rich Pod and share to help us grow.
All right. Back. Rich son. Father and son.
You said rich
Little
son.
Rich pod.
Rusty.
Father and son. I
You
ain't
said-
rusty.
Yeah.
Rich pod. Father and son. All right. Let's go. Episode 6. Back in the building. Talk about it.
This episode 6?
Yeah. Episode 6. You rust.
No.
Ha. Here
Well,
we go.
we've been gone for what, 2 weeks?
Too long.
Yeah.
Everybody was waiting to hear that. All right.
Yeah. We need to talk about what happened. Somebody over here wasn't ready to record, never.
Let's get down to business.
So welcome back, everybody. It's been a little bit of a break, but got something this good. Sometimes it takes some time. I need a little break from here on there. Regroup, bounce
okay.
back. What do you think
Some
about
of us
that?
don't need to bounce back. We're already there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
Hey,
it's old school. That's what we do. So let's get into it.
no, it's relatively, as we all know, it's a relatively dead time in all the sports at that end of summer. Besides, unless you're a huge baseball fan, I'm a mild baseball fan, not nothing too crazy, but I
The
know,
Braves swept the Brewers.
yeah.
The Braves swept the Brewers.
So when we're recording this, the Braves are coming off a clean sweep of the Brewers over this past weekend.
It wasn't clean.
It was. They dominated them. It wasn't much of a challenge, but they're doing that
Clean.
to most teams now, so it's not just the Brewers.
I'm supporting the hometown Brew Crew. Let's get it together.
Very, 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 very bad series for the Brewers, but it is what it is. Best team in baseball, you're gonna get washed like that. So
Wasn't a wash. Runs was put up. They just put up more runs. They had a home run derby in a 3-game series.
that's what they do.
Let's not give total credit. I mean, they didn't win the World Series, so but move on. Let's go on, because I'm not saying they didn't win. They won all 3 games, but it wasn't like it was 10-1, 6-1, 7-1. It was put up runs. They just put up more.
Anyways, the Brewers didn't have a chance in this series. So hopefully,
Like I
if
said.
the Brewers make it to the playoffs, they won't have to see them. Even though playoff sports are different, but you never know.
I have a different outlook, but we'll talk about that in October.
Yeah, hopefully.
So NFL training camps, we already seen a few significant injuries. We got Jalen Ramsey, we got Burrow, one of your guys over in Cincinnati.
My
Who
guy,
else?
Joe Burrow. Major. I'm trying to think. What?
Well, we could talk about the Taylor situation, because now all of a sudden Indianapolis trying to throw him under the bus, saying he got a back injury, failed a physical, and you see he responded and said, "I didn't say nothing about a back injury. My back is fine." So it's going to be a whole lot of juice coming out of that one.
So for people who don't know what he's talking about, Jonathan Taylor, Colts running back, recently requested a trade because of comments from their owner, Jim Irsay. I don't even know how it started. I haven't been paying attention. What did he say that angered Jonathan Taylor? I think he said something about not paying him, right?
Well, it was that, I think, with a combination of, recently a lot of the top running backs got on a Zoom call amongst each other, from what I read, and they were just talking about, which I think they got a valid point, that the running back position is kind of disrespected disrespected a bit as far as when it comes to contract. I mean, I know you said it in the past, as far as, once they reach a certain level, running backs are known to get hurt because they had that, but they still on the field. I mean, we glorify the quarterback position, which we should, but take the running back out of the game, and what do you have? So
It's
I
just
think they
it's a very
go
replaceable
ahead.
position. That's why. So looking at
I
it from a team
disagree.
building standpoint, I think it was like the last something Super Bowl winners all had running backs on rookie contracts. So
Okay,
it's
that's
not
great.
that valuable of a position when you'll rather pay that money to other positions to build around your team. If I'm a GM, unless it's like a generational
Jonathan
talent,
Taylor. Jonathan Taylor.
he's had like what last year? What did he do last year? He was hurt all year, right? So why
Oh,
would they come
oh,
back? He had that one breakout season. So why would they come back and make him the highest paid running back after when you could just draft a running back that gives you similar production? He's a great running back, of course, but I'm not
that's the
breaking the bank for him.
disrespect.
It's not
That's
disrespect. It's
disrespect.
team
That's the
building.
that's team disrespect. If you got somebody that help you, it's not his fault. The team been trash. I mean, good defense, but they bringing in respect to my man. All these quarterbacks they bring it in. Well, didn't they have golf or who they had? Ryan and how many
Wentz.
quarterbacks? Wentz. How many had they tried? These are all good quarterbacks in the right system. That should tell you something about the system. They ain't did nothing since Luck left. So let's just be honest here. You got a star caliber running back. We could say this all from, and I get it, the Ezekiel Elliott's. I mean, the
Who's
Vikings
still a free
releasing
agent
Cook. Yeah,
to
Vikings
Oklahoma.
releasing Dalvin Cook. Okay. They say he might go to the Jets. I don't like that move for the Jets. Is because then you stunting the growth of Hall. What was the rookie that tore his ACL?
Yeah, Brees Hall.
Bryce. Yeah. So you stunting because you bring in a Dalvin Cook, you're not gonna use him as a backup.
Yeah. But
You
that's
got not
just
a bro.
the running back position. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if nobody signs Zeke this season because
That would be crazy.
It started with Le'Veon Bell. You remember, he wanted that crazy
Yeah.
money, sat out the whole year, came back, got some sort of deal with ironically, the Jets, I believe. Didn't do nothing, got cut, been bouncing around the league ever since. He's been out for probably like 2 years. So I think
Well,
he ruined it for the running backs, I think, getting paid.
well, yeah, that was a bad move, and he even admitted it was a bad move, I believe. But we live and learn. But my whole point to this conversation is I like the fact that those running backs got on that call, that they made that, and the coach owner Israel, whatever, yeah, Israel, but he should have kept his mouth closed.
You gotta
But see,
start
that's the
saying
thing about what's his name?
you know his name, Ursay. You gotta stop mispronouncing names.
Okay, Irsay, win by y'all, win by. Okay, I'm sorry, I mispronounced one letter, but you know who I mean.
Yeah,
So him, the Jerry Joneses, you know, the other owners and stuff like that, granted it's your team, you do make the personnel, and the financial decisions, but to put somebody on blast like that, that's dedicated, that they had the meeting, it was something said because
yeah,
he was having the meeting right outside. I said, I guess in his trailer or whatever his um whatever he had parked. They had an hour long meeting. He came out the meeting wanting to trade, so it didn't go well.
right.
I just think sometimes they got. I think that it's a disrespected position in football. It's a position that the player has mastered all through elementary, middle, high school, college, and all that. So why can't they get paid? You tell me a linebacker should make more than a running back? You
Yeah,
tell me a tight end should make more than a running back? You tell me an offensive lineman should make more than a running back? A kicker should make more than a running back?
no kickers are making more than
All
running back.
well, but my whole point is saying they're all valuable to the team. Assistant coach should make more than a running back. I'm saying I get it. We know the quarterback, we know the wide receiver, We know a top, defensive tackle, a great cornerback, and all that. But don't disrespect the position. And
It's not
we
a
work
valuable
hard.
position. I'm not. You can't.
It's a
I'm not
very
saying
valuable position.
that. Can I get my point out? It's a very valuable position. It's respected, but in today's NFL, it's not as valuable. Maybe in the early 2000s when you were running them into the ground for 300 carries and stuff. Today is a pass first league. You know that. So of course, Travis Kelce. Who are you rather paying? Would you rather pay? Say Travis Kelce was 26 going into his contract year. Would you rather pay him or a 26-year-old running back like Jonathan Taylor? Saying I don't think he's 26, but would you rather pay a valuable pass catching tight end or a down to down running back that might roll an ankle and be out for like 5 weeks?
The tight end can't roll an ankle.
I didn't say he couldn't, but who's more
So
valuable to your offense?
do you think that's really a fair question for you to ask
Yeah,
comparing
because
a
when you were
Kelsey?
talking about it, I just brought up the best in the game. He's the best tight end in the game. So I'm just thinking, like, who would you rather pay? That valuable tight end you have or the valuable running back? If you had to choose one.
I mean, that's pretty obvious. Of course,
Okay. So
we're gonna say Kelsey, but
yes. So now you're looking at it from their perspective, right? I don't know I don't know the coach situation. I don't know who they got to pay or anything. But when you look at it, I'm
a new
not
team.
paying yeah, new owner probably. I'm not looking at it like, man, I have to pay this running back or my team's not going to be saying. That actually might be the situation for the Colts though. But they're not hoping that because they just drafted Anthony Richardson, no relation, with like the fifth pick or something. So they hoping he could be the franchise piece rather than a running back Jonathan Taylor. It's just not a respected position anymore. It's just
And
not
that's trash.
unless it's
That's
fantasy
trash.
football.
And that's trash. I mean, like I said, we can move on, but I think it's a total disrespect for the players that mastered their craft and became top at their position to be, just disrespected. And I
it's,
think that's what it is.
it's definitely sad where it's going, but
Yeah,
just looking at it, I understand a little, but it's definitely sad. If it was
it
a
is.
excuse me, it was a graphic like the running backs this off season. I think Aaron Jones took a pay cut. Saquon fighting for his money. Yeah, Taylor requesting a trade. It's just running backs just are not getting
Cook,
respected.
Cook release.
Yeah,
Zeke still looking
Zeke
free agent.
cut.
I mean, come on now. It's like at some point, it's like, come on, let's just be a little. And I get it. It's a business. Just like our team gonna cut my man on his birthday. I don't care. I mean, to me, it's business. I get it, but it's like, come on now. You just you still
Yeah,
got to have a human element to it.
yeah. I
So
guess that's
that's
just
my two
life.
cents on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's life, but you still have to have just some kind of sympathy, compassion, just overall courtesy,
But
common courtesy.
look at it from both sides. So say I think they actually did claim somebody off of waivers. So they had to create a roster spot. If you didn't think he was up to par, whether if his birthday or not, you got to create that roster spot for your team.
You still at a 90 man, you ain't had to do no cut downs. You can't tell me it was 89 other players that y'all done signed on that roster that was better than Gardner. He
I'm
been with
sure
you for 3 years.
I'm sure he's not the only one that's ever been cut on his birthday or anything.
He's
Just
probably not. I'm just saying it's a way to do things, but I get it. It's a business, and who knows what happened. But I just think it could have been done better. But hey, we full of opinions, and that's what we do.
see,
So
your guy, Justin Herbert, just got paid, didn't he? Or was that a rumor?
yeah,
Yeah, he just
no,
got paid a big bag, right?
yeah. He said he's currently the highest paid. That don't last long.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
lasts
So
till the next
currently,
person get paid.
right. So currently, I forgot how much was it for, but yeah, he's the highest paid now.
I
Um,
seen it was a comment. I think Justin Herbert is making Desmond Bain money.
see,
Justin Herbert.
you trying to bait me into it from our last back and forth on episode 5. I like Desmond Bain. I respect his game. It was only brought up and it's parallel if you look at it. What Herbert been in the league? This will be his 3rd year or 4th?
I think fourth.
4th, okay. What has he done?
Man,
I'm just asking. What has he done? Great quarterback. I mean, I like when we do fantasy and all that. I mean, I would never knew nothing about him. I don't know somebody. I think it was Phil or somebody told me. I'm like, man, he was
it was
doing
me.
it, but
I told you to
oh, it
pick him
was
up
you.
in your other league, and he ended up killing for you as a
That's
rookie.
what I'm saying.
So,
But what has he done to justify? Now, I'm glad we touching on this, and we're gonna get a little testy, maybe. Justin Herbert, quarterback, 4 years. He's been, good season, probably gonna be better this year. Let's just say it. You think he's deserving of that and already haven't proven nothing, and a running back can get a decent contract?
with Herbert, this is where it comes in, which most fans don't understand. You either pay him or you lose him. So you either pay him what they want or you lose. You don't want to lose Justin Herbert. He's like 24 years old. He still can get 10 times better. You don't want to lose that just because of a contract dispute. You know how hard it is to come by a franchise quarterback? Look how long the Jets been looking for one. So you
Speaking of that, they got one that took a pay cut. It seemed like he's a kid in a candy store, but we couldn't get that the last few years.
yeah.
Taking pay cuts, taking up for coaches,
Well,
smiling.
Aaron Rodgers, who he's referencing, he was underpaid for most of his career besides these past few years, which he deserved. He was coming off back-to-back MVPs. I think he deserved to be the highest paid. He was on a friendly 7-year team year deal for his prime of his career compared to what other people were getting paid. You can look it up. You wagging your
Do you
finger,
see?
but you can look it up.
No, do you know what that number stands for?
What?
It's the number 1. What do you think it stands for?
I'm not getting into this Super Bowl conversation with you.
I
Football,
what did
there's 52 other people with you. You can't put it all on one person at all.
All right, okay. Well, enough of that. We won't get in that. I wish him the best. What about my man Sean Payton in Denver? How do you feel about him saying what he said about Hackett and the Jets and all of that?
I'm of course with Aaron Rodgers. I don't get why. He's a accomplished coach in the league. He's taking over a new team. What was the point of him? Well, we got to give it context. So, for the people who don't know, Sean Payton dissed Nathaniel Hackett, who's the Broncos' old coach before he got hired. He dissed him, saying it wasn't Russell Wilson. It was what do you say, the worst coaching job he's ever seen, something like that. So
Yeah,
I
some
don't
to
get
that extent.
why. Why would he say that? Maybe defend his players, give his players a little fire or something, but that was a little out of left field. It really just came out of nowhere. So and he probably doesn't even know Hackett or anything. So he's just disrespecting the player or the person and the coach, which is just wild for random comments.
Well, I mean, I get it, and it'll probably be a motivating factor for the Jets. I mean, sometimes we open our mouth and say stuff. I mean, maybe he said it in a context he didn't think it'll come out like it did or whatever. But I mean, Peyton has always been one that didn't seem to bite his tongue anyway. But I mean, at the end of the day, you did have Russell Wilson, who we talked about on one episode. I said I think is going to have a fantastic year this year, and you just had a bad team, but you had a bad team full of a lot of talent that just shouldn't have performed the way it did. Let's just be honest.
Hey, I don't know. The team on the team on paper at least was solid. It's just I don't know if it was coaching, but they
Just
didn't
like the
perform.
Jets this year.
Yeah. So guess we'll see with that. But they definitely have a solid roster from a paper standpoint, but that don't mean nothing.
So let's just see if what he said is true. If they come out and have a really good year with pretty much the same roster, is what he said going to be possibly true?
Yeah, very much
Yet
could
to
be.
yet to be seen. So I mean, I think it's going to be a good year. I mean, the movement in the NFL. I'm really excited. I know you always tell me to temper the expectations. I really think that the Packers are going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Let me
I
stop
really
you there.
think
Let me stop you there. Before you start talking about Packers, if you had to give one bold prediction for the NFL season, will it be what you're about to say right now about the Packers? One bold prediction.
hmm, I don't know. I
Uh,
don't want to say that because I don't want to
okay,
say
then
it's too much
finish what
going
you were
on.
gonna say. Then finish what you were gonna say because I wanted to see if that would be your bold prediction.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth with it and say because I think it's a lot of parity this year, but I think they're going to surprise some. I think the NFC North is going to be stronger than what a lot of people think. Um, yeah, I believe so.
Tennessee North sucks.
Okay, that's your opinion, but I think it's going to be a lot stronger than what people say. I think a lot of these teams that are getting hyped up to be, just pretty much just show up on Sunday and they get on the road to the Super Bowl. It's going to be a lot of surprise teams this year. I really believe it is, and I look forward to it. I think this year is gonna be, kind of unlike any other.
So give us a bold prediction. You got one,
Bold prediction.
or you want me to say one first? Give you
Yeah,
time to
say
think.
yours. Say yours.
Let's see. Bold prediction. Trying to think of something nobody really talks about. The Nah, I ain't gonna say that. I do think the Jaguars are gonna be really good this year. That's not my bold prediction, though. That's not my bold prediction. Bold prediction. This is tougher when you're on the spot. Give me Lamar Jackson winning MVP. Lamar Jackson's gonna go for a second MVP if he can stay healthy.
I don't think that's too far off.
That's not that
I
bold.
wouldn't say. Well, I mean, he's been too close. Barring injuries. I
Just
mean,
can't stay
I
healthy.
think, yeah, barring injuries, he's up there in the top. A healthy Lamar Jackson
There's
with
not many
a
better than him.
good team. That's what I'm saying. And we had this conversation, but you can't knock a healthy Lamar Jackson. And in Baltimore, we know they're built on defense. So I think that's a team that will continue to surprise a lot of people. Um, I think teams like Tennessee Titans, I know it sounds crazy, but I think it's a lot of teams that are going to surprise people this year. And I know it's a few teams. I won't name names that we're hearing all the hype about and all of that, but it's gonna be some surprises.
I got another one. The Vikings will finish last in the NFC North.
That's hard.
That Vikings roster sucks. And they're trying to trade Hunter too.
Well, they
He's
got a new deal now.
Oh, they worked out a new deal?
They just worked out. It was either yesterday or today that they
Nah.
was trying to trade him, but that don't mean they still won't trade him. But what did they really lose besides Cook? Well,
That
Thielen,
roster wasn't good in general. You remember they had what was it? It was like the worst. What is it? DODVA, something like it's some stat like that. The worst like ever for where did they finish with like 12, 13 wins. So
yeah,
essentially that just means they weren't supposed to win that many games. They had a DVOA of like a 4-win team or something like that. So
well, you remember they had what were they? They had all those one score games that
yeah,
they won on
that's
the
what I'm saying.
last thing. So yeah, that was. I mean, last To me, I think Detroit is kind of overhyped in the division. I think
Because
you disagree with me and think they're on the uprise, but
they're building a good team, but just I don't know. I just can't see Jared Goff leading a team to a I mean, he was the starting quarterback with the Rams when they went to the Super Bowl, but
that was defense.
yeah, and that Super Bowl stunk. No one think about it, no one ever talks about that Rams Patriots Super Bowl. That was one of the worst
Was
Super
that the
Bowls.
one with the low scoring? I'm trying to
Yeah.
think. What was that?
Did it end 17-6? I don't know.
I don't know,
But that
but
Super Bowl
I know
sucked.
it wasn't fun to watch. But I think too, though, that's another thing. If we look at it, something like the NFC North is that it's no clear cut. I mean, like that's why I said I think the Packers are going to surprise because let's say Chicago, I mean, I get it. I'm not taking it apart. I know you're going to say a Hall of Fame, you take him, but the team is still pretty much the same, you know,
That
which wasn't good last year, but I think they've made improvement in the right place. And it sometimes when you wipe the slate clean and you starting over, I mean, I think to me, like I know I say stuff about him, but I think Rodgers has been kind of classy, still texting Jordan Love and keeping in communication and stuff like that. I mean, I think it works for both sides. It was just time to move on. I mean, hopefully he does what he does in New York, and I think Green Bay is on a fresh start. But as far as the NFC North, as far as a lot, I mean, you got to look at the NFC South. Brady's gone from Tampa Bay. Atlanta got the second year, but that quarterback is unproved. Who else in the South? Carolina
Panthers,
got a rookie quarterback. And who am I missing? Atlanta, Tampa,
New Orleans, Derek
Carolina,
Carr,
New Orleans.
signed
Yeah,
Derek.
that's kind of iffy. Carr, they got Carr. He's experienced. You got Michael Thomas coming back, right?
Who knows? The
Yeah,
dude,
you got
he
Thomas.
always
And
come
then
back
what
and
what
then
what was the rookie last year that was kind of killing? Wide receiver.
Olave. Olave.
Yeah. So he got a year under his belt, kind of like Watson. I heard LaFleur say Watson was one of the most intelligent players he's been around. You keep him healthy, watch out.
Yeah. I
That's all
think,
I'm gonna say.
and by the way, that Super Bowl we was talking about was 13-3.
That's even worse.
Yeah, but I think we'll touch on it more. Our next episode is going to be a Packers based episode, but
Yeah.
I think Love will definitely. I think Dobbs will have a bigger year than Watson. I seen in practice today. All the tweets are coming out. Love hit Watson on a 60-yard touchdown, so it looks like a connection already. But and Love has been lighting it up these past 2 days. But then again, you got to look. It's the Packers defense. He's lighting up. So
Which it
can't
would be
really.
better. I just wish they would have. But like you said, we'll touch on it. I wish they would have made a DC change, but we'll see about that. But it's a lot parity. It's a lot going on. I'm looking forward to September 7th when it starts. Our you know shows is going to be full of just talk. I think we're going to be looking at some team in the AFC that everybody is talking is going to the Super Bowl. Going to be like, what? And this other team's going to be like, hey. So I look forward to it.
So
So let's
let's get
go.
a we'll get a preseason prediction right now. Then we're gonna do a when the regular season starts prediction and then a mid-season prediction. So preseason prediction, what's your Super Bowl? It's way too early. Way don't know nothing. Super Bowl prediction.
And let's just say I'm going to say the Chiefs.
And the NFC is such a wild card.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, I almost want to say that like the Chiefs and the Eagles again, but I
Again,
just
yeah.
don't see it. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think people sleeping on even like the Cowboys, and so I don't know. I mean, we could just say I mean, then you got teams like Buffalo, the Chargers, even we'll see with the Jets. So I mean, preseason prediction, I'll just say, Chiefs, Eagles.
Chiefs Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah. Um, man,
Because do you think of the NFC? Who's the top teams? You got the
that's what I'm saying.
Eagles. Then it's just a steep fall off after the
I
Eagles.
don't I don't think so, because I mean, even their own division. I mean, the Giants are gonna be
Cowboys.
better.
The
Yeah,
Giants aren't Super
Cowboys.
Bowl contenders.
Giants will be better. Mark
They're
my
not Super
word.
Bowl contenders though.
Okay. But
As
who's
long
your Super
as, as
Bowl
long as number
contenders?
8 is quarterback Daniel Jones, they're not Super Bowl contenders.
Please tell me.
I'm trying to think in NFC. You got the Eagles, of course, is gonna be the favorite. NFC North don't got none. NFC South
That's that's
don't
that's
got none. It's just that division. The NFC East. Eagles, Cowboys. What's the last division? Isn't there four? Who we missing?
these was
So
the
this should tell you
AFC.
everything we need to know. We can't even think of the teams.
Well, I think that's because you throwed it off and just said how you don't think no NFC North. That was just a
Oh, the
bad comment.
Rams. The Rams are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL this year. The Seahawks, they have solid, but Geno Smith, the Niners. Niners, whoever they end
That's
up.
who I was thinking about.
Yeah,
Is it gonna be Purdy?
Purdy, if he healthy. I don't get Lance. They did all that to get him, and I think he's like QB3 right now behind Darnold and Purdy. They made all
They
that
got
hay.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. And Shanahan been
Wow,
hyping up. I don't know. Shanahan's been hyping them up too. So I just don't get why they got Lance.
they gonna trade him.
Yeah, they have to. They gave up like so much draft capital. I think it's like 2, 3 first round picks, seconds, thirds, and then all
They
that for McCaffrey too.
Yeah, they're gonna trade him then, and it's interesting because Purdy was an unknown commodity last year and made that run, but now teams are going to be able to prepare for him. They're going to know his what he
Yeah,
does and all that. So that might not be. They got a great defense,
yeah,
but
that's what it
it
is.
just it
But
might not be because.
Bosa's holding out right now.
Oh, is that the Bosa? I thought it was the one in San Diego, but no,
Nah,
it's he holding out.
he ain't giving him his money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. Interesting. I think on that note, we can end it and get ready to pick it up next week, closer to the season.
Okay. Well, appreciate y'all listening. Hopefully we won't take another 2 week break. We should relatively stay consistent from here on out.
We
Uh
will.
yeah. Appreciate everybody listening. Follow us everywhere at the Rich Pod. Can you
Share it.
share and share, tell a friend, give us ideas or recommendations, anything you want to hear us talk about, all that good stuff. Anything you want to
And
finish
tell
out?
a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend.
Yeah.
And end it at that. And don't end it at that, friend. Keep it going. Appreciate y'all. Keep God first and everything else will work out.
All right, we'll see y'all next week.
All right. Take it easy.